that, then one of them, either the masculine or the feminine, has priority. You know, it's not an easy gel. Mars, well, we're talking about Mars, so double Mars. Jupiter, like I said, the only danger with Mars in a difficult relationship with Jupiter is sort of too much, excess, too much Mars, you know, too much of a good thing even. But with its trines, Mars trine Jupiter is wonderful for timing, wonderful for launching into new projects, wonderful for enthusiasm. Saturn, we talked about Saturn. It either brings endurance and perseverance, or you feel thwarted and you feel like there's an authority figure that isn't letting you go do the thing you want to do. You know, the Mars energy is like young, joyous energy. And it's not necessarily joyous, but it's young, exuberant energy. Uranus brings in an erratic energy, and it brings in a desire for change. And so, like I said, you know, this is an interesting thing. Kate has Uranus conjunct Mars in the 8th house in Pisces. So this is a fun thing. I don't yet know how the 8th house is going to work, but they're sitting next to each other in Pisces. Pisces rules the feet. And she kicks, like when she's asleep, more than, like, it's insane. She'll crawl into bed with us at like 4 in the morning and she'll go, I mean, and that is Mars in Pisces, conjunct Uranus in Pisces. It's like, because it's electric, it's sudden, it's, you know, jerky, whatever, in the sign rules the feet. I know that's a mundane example, but there you go. And also this can be, suddenly, the unexpected, the electric, lightning, that kind of energy, accidents, jarring, that kind of energy. Or the revolutionary, the rebel and the revolutionary are sitting right next to each other. You can think of Mars as also the rebel, the little rebel in you. Okay, and so Uranus, Neptune is the planet of the ideal. If it's in harmonious connection with Mars, you'll have a tremendous amount of idealism, a tremendous amount of your aspiration is lifted. It's visionary. If it's not, if it's in a difficult relationship, the Mars energy can get diffused. It's sort of like Mars in Pisces. It can get diffused. You can get too dreamy. Dreaminess can take you off your Mars course. And Pluto is the planet of death, rebirth. It's ultimately a planet of great healing, but if you put these two together, you have tremendous ambition. You have a tremendous drive for power. And if they're square one another or opposite one another, that power could get out of hand, or you could, it could be, extreme as a kind of ruthlessness. Does that help? Just get you a little on track, Laura? Does that help? Yeah.
She has a trine.
To Pluto? Mm-hmm. So trine is lovely. Mars trine Pluto. Like, tremendous regenerative power. Like, if you were to get sick, to have Mars trine Pluto would just give you tremendous regenerative power. And like hidden power, and power that is like grows as you grow. And then you become this magnificent woman as you get older. Okay. No, Mars trine Pluto is like very, like a nice hum to it. Yes?
What is MC?
The MC is the midheaven, thank you. The MC is the midheaven, and so it's the career point. And it's the point, if you're looking at a chart, here's the ascendant, and the midheaven is up here. And so is it in harmony with midheaven, or square midheaven, or?
Opposite.
Opposite midheaven, okay. So, yeah, right, that's right, because it's down here. Opposite again, it has to do with how does your Mars energy work with your midheaven point, your career point? Do you think a lot about doing something but then not do it? Do you have what is your career point? What rules your 10th? Wait a second. Gemini would be Sagittarius. All right. So Sagittarius would rule, I think it would. Yeah, that's right. Sagittarius would rule your midheaven. So in opposition, again, it's like you have the big dream, the big vision, and Mars in Gemini could get a little bit diffuse or lost in the details, and so it's going back and forth like this. Does that make any sense? We'll continue yeah, but it's the career point, yes.
What's the 60, the asterisk, what's that called?
Sextile,
Sextile?
yeah, sextile, SEXTILE.
What's the relationship to the ascendant? Of Mars to the ascendant? Like if it's opposite, for instance?
Yeah, if it's opposite. So here's your Mars in Aquarius, and here's Leo rising. So, you know, again, there's this polarity going on. Leo rising, people want to express the self. They want to, they want to shine forth from the heart. They want to say, I am, right? Mars in Aquarius is fueling all its energy into the group, or into the collective, or into the community, or into abstracting from the Leo just self, So they balance one another, but they can also get out of whack like this. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's going to swing. Any opposition like this, particularly with an angle, is going to swing back and forth. So any opposition like this is going to swing between home and career, regardless of what's there. There's going to be a home and career. And that's the other thing about your fourth house, Jeffrey, is that the fourth house, we talk about fighting words, but it could also be like something about the home, a passionate connection to home, and like the desires, the love of the home somehow, and so anyway, any opposition like this, I see midheaven, ascendant, descendant, is self, other, home, career. Okay? And if you had something square here, if you had, let's say, Mars up here square the ascendant, and it was conjunct your midheaven, sitting up here, you could have issues of career that get in the way of your true soul's calling. Like you could be doing the wrong thing. Does that make sense?
So square midheaven would be
Career issues, creative friction around career, You have square midheaven? Yeah. So, Mars and Pisces.
Had a bit of that.
Hmm?
Had a bit of that.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I mean, it's basically, how do I be the spiritual warrior and compassionate one and,
And make a living?
make a living? Yeah. And
That was easy.
but it's also interesting for you because remember, I remember writing for you that, what's intercepted?
Rules my 9,000 is intercepted in the second. Mars.
Oh, right, it's intercepted, which means that, in other words, when Mars rules a house, it either rules your Aries house or your Scorpio house, but for Madly, in the second house of money, it's intercepted. It's, in other words, it's contained within it. So the Mars energy is contained within it, which is almost like it being hidden away.
Well, my Venus is in my house of money, so
Yeah,
that just means I want money. Doesn't mean I'm gonna get it. Oh, okay. What a prize. Okay,
So,
got it.
anybody else want? Oh, yes, Anita.
I have a, you said semi-square Pluto.
Yes, semi-square Pluto. So again, the semi-square is the partial square, so it's going to have it's going to have creative friction, and so it's going to be, it's issues of power, really. Issues of power, and we'd have to look at it in depth, but Pluto is the first-rate planet, which is all about will and power, and Mars is a sixth-rate planet, which is about a kind of idealism and fanaticism, and they're sort of at odds. And Pluto is the transformer, the transformational, it wants to do the Scorpio thing, it wants to lift the dark to the light, but Mars in Cancer doesn't really want to allow that to happen. So it's almost like the healer is going, hello, soft-shelled crab or hard-shelled crab that's hiding away, let's do some work. And then, That's my demonstration of semi-square Mars.
Thank you very much.
We'll put that in a book, and yes.
Well, sell millions of copies.
Yeah.
You said that the trine is a positive, right?
Yes, yes,
And the sextile
it's positive,
as well?
yes.
Okay.
And, you know, the only danger with the trine is that it's too easy. The only danger with the trine is that you know how to do it so well that you don't even take it for granted. And you're like, oh, yeah, you know, and you don't get anything done. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, like conjunctions, squares, oppositions, they're the stuff of life, really, because they make you work, they make you change, they make you grow, they you know.
Could trines also be that you're not aware of it? That it comes so naturally or
Yeah.
whatever, that you're kind of oblivious?
Yeah, yeah, you go, oh, that's how I am, yeah, you know. Like I watched a horrible movie on the plane about Just My Luck or something with, what's her name?
Oh, Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan. It was
Sorry
horrible.
that I know that.
It's horrible. But you know, she's just like, premise is that she's just so lucky, and then the co-star is like horribly unlucky. He gets water sprayed on him as taxis drive by, and she wins the lotto, and you know, they have all these montages of her being lucky, and him not. But she's like, I'm just lucky, right? And she doesn't think it's anything, but I'm just lucky. But it would be sort of like that in the sense that, but then things start to go awry, and that's when she grows, of course, and realizes it has a heart and all of that. But you know, a very lucky thing would be Jupiter in harmony with the Sun, or Jupiter in harmony with Mars, or Jupiter in harmony with almost anything. But yeah, that's a great.
It's like Robert Redford in The Way We Were. At times he was like his country. Things came too easily for him and stuff, you know, and it just,
Yeah,
you know. Anyway, it just, things came so easily for him to write, to
Yeah.
just whatever. It's a privileged life.
yeah,
But yet, you know,
yeah,
he wasn't fully aware of it and stuff until he looked within a little bit, so.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, we all think about, I mean, like in my own chart, I have the Sun square the Sun square the Moon, you know, and I think a lot of my work in my life has been about that. It's Sun, Aries, square Moon, and Capricorn. And I'm grateful for that, actually, because, you know, the Moon in Capricorn, if I just had, the Moon in Capricorn is so contained and so careful and so cautious, and that would be very comfortable for me to just be careful and contained and not take an improv class. And, I could tell you stories about improv, but I won't. Okay. Seriously, today, yes I will. Seriously, today, it started the scene, and I came out because it was my turn, and she was like, how's your dad? I couldn't understand what she said. And so she was like holding out this thing, and I just found myself sort of standing there like, holding my hands in the position of what, I couldn't speak for like a full 2 minutes. I was just like, I didn't know what was going on in the scene. I had nothing to say. It was a grand failure. But I had other breakthroughs, but it was kind of depressing. But anyway, I